Welcome to Internal System Support's Introduction to the Developmental Budget Web Application. This budget processing video presentation is designed for LACOE staff members responsible for completing and submitting budget justification forms on the Developmental Budget Web Application. In this course, we will cover several topics including navigating the website, tools available to you, completing budget justification forms, submitting forms for approval, and how to perform a workflow reset on a budget form. The Developmental Budget Web Application can be found at developmentalbudget.lacoe.edu. We recommend PC users use Internet Explorer and Mac users use Firefox. To log in, use your LACOE email username and password. If you are unable to log in, please contact Internal System Support and we will assist you. Once you have opened the website, type your last name _ first name in the username field and then type your LACOE email password in the password field. Click on the Log On button to log into the site. The first screen you are presented with is the Budget Justification screen. At the top of the screen, you will find menu items, Developmental Budget, and Help. The Developmental Budget drop-down menu includes links to the Budget Justification Forms, Budget Justification Reports, and Budget Approval Reports. The Help drop-down menu includes the Resource Links page that contains helpful links to the resources found on the lacoe.edu website. The Budget Justification page consists of the two following areas: the navigation tree and the Justification Forms display area. The navigation tree is equivalent to the PeopleSoft workflow. The navigation tree displays budget justification forms that are organized by the first level approver, usually a division director, and then grouped by either fund location or fund resource combinations that can be filtered by workflow status. To find the budget justification forms you are responsible for, click on the Approver 1 drop-down and choose an approver for the budget that you would like to see. Choosing an approver will display the navigation tree for available justification forms for that particular approver. Select the plus sign next to the fund to view its available resources or locations. An icon to the left of the fund or location is a symbol indicating the current budget workflow status. To change the default workflow status filter of All Workflow Status, you can use the Budget Workflow Status drop-down to narrow down results for viewing budget forms. For example, by selecting In Process, the filter will only return budget forms that are being worked on by division staff personnel and have not been submitted for approval. There are 8 available workflow approval statuses to choose from. The default status when viewing justification forms is All Workflow Status. This status will display all available justification forms regardless of status. The No Activity selection lists all the forms that have not had any information entered in them on any of the tabs. The In Process selection lists all forms where some of the information has been entered on at least one of the tabs. The GPM Pending selection displays all forms that have been submitted for GPM review and approval. The Budget Pending selection displays all forms that have been approved by GPM and is now awaiting budget staff review and approval, or that is non-GPM funds and is now waiting for budget staff review and approval after having been submitted directly by division staff. The Approval 1 Pending selection displays all budget forms that are awaiting Approver 1 Division Director approval. The Approval 2 Pending selection displays all budget forms that are awaiting Approver 2 Assistant Superintendent or Superintendent approval. The Approved selection will display all justification forms that have been approved by all levels of approval. Click on the fund, then resource or location to open the budget justification forms. The budget justification forms consist of 6 tabs. These are the Summary, Non-Salary, Non-FTE, Revenue, FTE Position Update, and Attachment tabs. Preloaded accounts and/or position information are contained in each tab, along with the input fields to establish the budget for the next fiscal year. The Summary tab contains a consolidated view of the totals from each of the other tabs in the budget justification forms. From this tab, you can submit the forms for approval or perform a workflow reset if the forms have been submitted but not approved. Near the bottom of the Summary tab is an area titled Approval History. All approval history is stored in this area. Any submission or approval action is time and date stamped, along with the comments and the user who performed the action. The Non-Salary and Non-FTE tab contain accounts, adjusted, adopted, and proposed budgets, as well as a comparison of adopted to proposed budget and the line and summary justifications. In addition, the Non-Salary tab contains prior and current year actuals data. The Revenue tab contains budgeted, projected, and estimated revenue data that will vary depending on funding quarter. The Revenue Summary differs from the Non-Salary and Non-FTE tabs as it contains the sum of available beginning balance and projected revenue less estimated expenditures to calculate the estimated ending balance. The FTE Position Update tab allows you to add, change, freeze, or close FTE position information with the required justification comments for any changes made. Due to the confidential nature of this data, the tab is hidden from division personnel after the budget form is submitted. The Attachment tab allows you to attach additional documents that approvers will be able to view and download. Only documents in PDF format are allowed as attachments. When completing the budget justification forms, the following tools are available to you. The Add New Record button will bring up a pop-up window where you can enter a new record. In the pop-up window, Fund and Location or Fund and Resource will be automatically populated in connection to the type of budget that you are editing. Duplication of accounts or duplication of account and position combinations are not allowed. New accounts will be displayed in blue and the Edit and Delete icons will be available to use. Preloaded accounts are displayed in black and do not have the Edit or Delete icons available to use. The only exception to this is the FTE Position Update tab, where you can edit but not delete preloaded position information. The Autofill button will copy the adopted budget column to the proposed budget column. The autofill function will not overwrite any fields that have already been populated. The Copy button is available on GPM Funds 01.2 and 12.0. This function allows you to copy all accounts on a single tab to an available grant year. The copied accounts will reflect the new grant year chosen. In the Copy Account string prompt, the resource will be automatically populated and the drop-down box will display available grant years. After selecting a grant year and clicking Submit, the new resource will become available on the navigation tree and will be displayed in blue. You cannot delete a new resource added to the navigation tree, so please exercise caution when using the Copy feature. The Copy feature only copies accounts on the tab you press the Copy button on. For example, if you use the Copy feature on the Non-Salary tab, only the accounts on the Non-Salary tab will be copied to the new resource. If you need to copy more of the tabs to a new grant year, you will need to execute the Copy function on each tab, one at a time. There are two available methods of extracting data from the website, the Export button and the Budget Justification Reports. The Export button will export the current tab you are viewing in Excel spreadsheet format. Pressing the Export button will initiate a download of the current tab you are viewing to an Excel file that you can save or open on your computer. If you need to export data from multiple budget justification forms, you can use the Budget Justification Reports or Budget Approval Reports found under the Developmental Budget menu. These reports allow you to select and export data from the tabs found on budget justification forms. Budget Approval Reports displays accounts, proposed budgets, approval history, and workflow status. The report includes filters for chart fields, submitters, approvers, and workflow status. Budget Justification Reports include filters and displays data for all columns found on the non-salary, non-FTE, and revenue budget justification form tabs. For example, if you needed to download all of the non-salary budget data for a particular director, you could select the director under the Approver 1 dropdown, select the non-salary data type, and then click Search to view the results below. You can then click the Export to Excel button to download the results to an Excel file. To complete the budget justification forms, visit each tab and fill in the required input fields. Please be sure to only use whole dollar amounts when inputting numbers, as cents are not accepted by the system. In addition, a feature of the web application includes a lock that prevents two users from editing the same budget form at the same time. If you see the following error message, this means the named person is currently viewing and/or editing the budget form you are trying to access, and you will only be able to view the budget form in read-only format. The named person will need to move to another resource or location or log off the website before you are able to edit the forms they are currently using. To begin completing the forms, click on the Non-Salary tab. You may use the autofill icon to copy the prior fiscal year's adopted budget into the next fiscal year's proposed budget, or click the proposed budget box for each line and manually input the proposed budget amount. Tabbing or clicking outside of the box will auto-save your input and recalculate the summary totals. To add a new account string, click on Add New Record. Use the drop-downs to complete the account string, enter the proposed budget amount, and provide a justification if needed. Click Save when finished. If the total adjusted to adopted budget amount is not equal to 0, a summary justification is required before you are allowed to submit the forms for approval. Budget line justifications are optional but can be used to provide additional information. For the non-FTE tab, follow the same procedure as the non-salary tab. Complete the proposed budget column by using the autofill button or manually inputting the budget. If a new non-FTE position is required, click Add New Record and using the drop-downs, complete the account string, input the position number and description if applicable, enter the proposed budget amount, and provide a justification. Complete the summary justification if necessary and continue to the Revenue tab. For the Revenue tab, there are up to 4 available areas of input depending on the fund requirements. If available, complete the beginning balance and less estimated expenditure fields in the Revenue Summary section. Then complete the projected revenue column if available and the estimated revenue column. If necessary, add new accounts by clicking on the Add New Record and completing the required fields. A summary justification is only required if the budgeted revenue as of the capture date is not equal to the total estimated revenue effective the start of the next fiscal year. On the FTE Position Update tab, you can edit a preloaded position by clicking on the Edit icon. The position's funding breakdown is viewable at the top of the pop-up window. Position information can be updated using the available fields on the lower half of the window. Only close, freeze, and change actions are available for preloaded positions. Comments are required if any action is selected before you are allowed to save changes to the position's information. Change or update information as needed and click on the Update button. To add a new FTE position, click Add New Record and use the drop-downs to enter the account string. Complete the required FTE position information fields indicated by a red star next to the field. When adding a new record, the position status is defaulted to active and the action field defaults to add and cannot be changed. Click Save when finished. For the Attachments tab, Click Browse to search for the PDF file you wish to upload. Select the file, click Open, and then click the Upload button to attach the file to the budget justification forms. Uploaded files will display in the table below. If you need to remove a file, click on the trash can icon and the file will be deleted. Once the budget forms have been submitted for approval, attachments can be viewed but not modified. Once all tabs have been completed, you can proceed to submit the budget justification forms for approval. Click on the Summary tab and review the summary total fields. Then add any comments if needed and click on the Submit button. Once you click the Submit button, the data on each tab will change to Read Only and the FTE Position Update tab will disappear and be viewable only to approvers. If any required fields were left blank prior to clicking the Submit button, an error message will display notifying you what tab or tabs require modification. After submitting the budget justification forms, you can reset the workflow by clicking the available Reset Workflow button prior to any approvals. Resetting the forms will open all tabs for edit and the FTE Position Update tab will become available again. Submitting the budget forms will route them for approval. Once the budget justification forms have been approved by the first approver in the workflow, you can no longer perform a workflow reset. You will need to contact the pending approver to deny the budget forms. Once the forms have been denied, you will be able to edit and resubmit them for approval. If the budget justification forms are denied by any approver, the system will notify you by email, along with any comments posted by the approver denying the budget. If you have received an email indicating your budget forms have been denied, you can click on the link provided in the email to return to the Developmental Budget web application, perform any required modifications, and resubmit the budget for approval. By logging into the LACOE employee intranet, you can find classroom instruction schedules, additional training videos, and user manuals. On the left side menu, click on Business Services, then Internal System Support to list the available online resources. You can view our schedule of classes on the calendar by choosing ISS Training from the list of categories on the staff calendar. If you require additional assistance in preparing your budget, please contact Accounting and Budget Development's budget staff by emailing budget@lacoe.edu and they will further assist you. If you are having issues logging into the website or experiencing other technical issues in regards to the Developmental Budget web application, please email internalsystemsupport@lacoe.edu and we will assist you.